Titans number 11, which is written by Dan Abnett and Brett Booth.
Special.
Aye, it's very special.
I mean, it's definitely the first crossover of this family of the DCU in a while.
Yeah. So basically, this starts with a flashback to Teen Titans and basically the scene from Judas Contract, where Grant dies, Deathstroke's son, and we get catapulted to present day. Deathstroke's got his eyesight back, which is something that he lost in Deathstroke.
This part's probably my biggest concern with the book. It kind of feels like it just brushes over Deathstroke in general, like as to what's going on. It's like, okay, let's just get back to where we need to be really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I've not quite caught up in Deathstroke yet. I'm like 4 or 5 issues away from the newest one. I will soon enough. I was intending on finishing and catching up for this starting, but it didn't happen. Like I say, busy. But I have a general because I've read a fair chunk of it now. Though I've got a better understanding of what's going on with them and the other characters he's referring to and stuff like that. But yeah, so the plot of this one is basically that Deathstroke kidnaps Wally and has him in this weird, speedster lock contraption thing.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of the treadmill, but with these arms that hold him in.
Yeah, it's like a cosmic treadmill kind of vibe to it, but it's got all these arm things that are holding him, and he's also dosed him with like truth serum or something like that because he keeps asking questions, and Wally's like, "I'm not telling you that," and then he tells him the answer, and stop making me do that. Yeah, so that's the thing, and basically he wants to use Wally to go back in time and save his son, but he tries to make him a deal. He's like, look, if you do this, I know you don't want to, but if you do this, I'll stop being Deathstroke. I'll give up being a mercenary, an assassin. I'll never kill another person again. That's the deal. And Wally's like, look, as tempting as that is, we can't mess with space and time. It's like, that's alright, I've got a contingency. So the big ending of the book is that he pulls out new Wally, who's also strapped to this similar kind of device.
Yeah.
And new Wally, well, he's met this Wally, didn't know he was called Wally, he just knew him as like a Flash. And he's like, wait, you're Wally West? You can't be Wally West, I'm Wally West. And that's what we end on.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much, let's set up the story and get the pieces in place, which is fine. And I honestly think if there's a book I want that to be done in, it's Titans, because it's probably my least favourite of the bunch. Yeah,
I liked it. I think it clearly sets up what the story's about. It clearly gives us an interesting goal. Like the fact that Deathstroke's willing to like give up everything he's been for basically his whole life if he can just get his son back. It gives it a kind of a nice emotional core. He's the villain still, but he's a sympathetic villain. There's a sort of goal in there that you can kind of look at.
Yeah, it really lets you know what sort of mindset Slade's in right now. Where because obviously it's very clear that Grant died. It even says at the start, and then it just says many years ago. I don't think it specifically times it, but you have to go right. Why now? What's put him in this mood to do it now? Which is I think it really shows you something's changed for Slade at the minute.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, it's Brett Booth who's been doing that for Titans anyway, so same rules apply to his art as what we've said in the past issues.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem is actually the final page, which is an annoying place to have a problem. It's the new Wally West's face as he's saying it. It just looks a bit goofy. It just doesn't really work for me. But again, that's Booth a lot of the time with things where it's still an action.
Yeah, he kind of over animates because he's not very good at just like conversation scenes, which is I mean, it's a bit more than a conversation scene, but it's definitely more like that than anything else. I like what it sets up. Obviously, it sets up in a little thread where the Titans are fighting these like henchmen from Hive, or at least they think they're from Hive, but they're not from Hive. And one of them like says to Dick, Lazarus hired us. We've got a message. The contract is off, or the deal's off. And he pretends he doesn't know what that is, but Omen kind of reads him and can tell that he's lying.
Yeah.
So that sets up a bit of mystery. I'm not quite sure what that's hinting at. Like, what does Dick know?
I don't know. I'm assuming Lazarus is Grant.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the obvious thing to assume.
Yeah, I've got nothing else. Yeah, like it opens with that. It's all about that for Slade. It's the only thing that makes sense right now. And I guess then it's a question of if he's already alive, is it because Wally's already messed with time and this has just happened because it's on a loop?
Yeah, I mean, is it like what if Deathstroke already knows? What if saving him means okay? Because of what happened, he became this awful villain person. I want to save him, and by saving him, it just means going back and fixing it so he never becomes this kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just I'm just poking at ideas based on what's there.
It's possible.
Assuming that Lazarus is because it's the Lazarus contract. Maybe he's been hired to kill Lazarus. He knows Lazarus is Grant, so to do it, he's going to go back and save him before he becomes Lazarus, rather than kill him.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would work.
I'm mostly pulling that out of my ass, admittedly, but I think it would work.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say, I mean, as much as we talk about Booth's art in sort of a negative light at times, I do like his layouts.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I like that they're always, or at least here, they're slanted. They're just not quite straight. They give it the sense of momentum that his art can have.
They give it a sense of momentum. They also, like, see the second last page before we reveal Kid Wally? Kid Wally, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We've really got to have a better way of differentiating these.
Yeah, new Wally. But it's these slanted panels, but as they're going down, it's like this. It's almost, it gives you this momentum, but also this falling sensation because they're sort of falling away further as they go down.
Yeah, and they overlap at the edges as well.
And it's almost like something's falling off of a table, kind of motion.
Yeah, and when Wally sees Wally at the end, where he says the part where he says, "Oh no," that's where it's like it's completely fallen off. So it's like the penny's dropped, so to speak.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think Booth is terrible. Obviously, he has his problems, but I do think his action layouts are pretty good.
Yeah, it's faces are really his weak point, which it can be such a drawback in these big emotional moments. The beat at the end there, like that's supposed to be the big moment to end the start of your crossover on, and it loses it a little bit because I'm just going, that looks a bit weird.
But at least this does bring in the Teen Titans, so obviously they're going to team up to try and get their Wallies back.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
We'll see where this goes with Slade and like.
I'm just excited to have Damien interact with everyone, frankly.
As am I. Damien and Donna might be a good combo. I'm not. In fact, one of my favourite little funny moments is one of the henchmen they're fighting at the start says, "Don't let the woman in black hit me again, please," to Dick. That just made me crack up.
Yeah.
But I know it was a solid start to the crossover. It made it feel personal. It gives a sense of what it's going to be about, and I'm looking forward to Slade getting some temporary Speed Force powers, however that ends up happening.
What did Matt think?
Calling it now. Grant is Lazarus, and the contract is from him. Oh, I said it was for him. But he thinks the contract's from him. Interesting. Okay, it'll make Deathstroke redeem his falling son. Also, why would Dick lie? Tempest is finally called Tempest, and was hilarious. Okay. Alright, I think it's another fair guess. We seem to agree that Grant is probably Lazarus. But, I mean, Matt's not here to explain why he thinks the contract's from him, so it's a bit unfair.
I mean, I could assume just based on the wording of the Lazarus contract, your way is probably the more obvious one to me at first anyway, because it's like you name it after the target. Whereas his way is, it's come from him, so it's Lazarus's contract, so to speak. Yeah,
I think I just, at least now, I mean, if Matt was here to explain what, his thinking with this, I'd probably maybe see his side of it, but at least right now I like my way better because it just makes it more personal and like heartfelt for Slade. That he's trying to avoid killing him by going back and saving him to stop him turning into this. I like the time travel kind of fun of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting into some time travel-y fun either way, potentially.
Yeah.